Money hands. Hey. Good morning, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. And this morning, we will be talking about Microsoft. Microsoft is very important to the technology industry. Microsoft has been around for such a very, very long time. And I believe that is important. If you don't individually have Microsoft, whether it be whole shares or fractional shares, at least have Microsoft inside of your index funds as well as your exchange traded funds. Now, for a lot of you beginner investors out there, I do not want you to get discouraged about the amount of money when I show you that Microsoft is worth per share. Don't let that discourage you. In this day and time, in this age of technology, do you believe, and I have you to believe that you can invest in fractions, okay? And the reason why I'm pushing this narrative, because what I'm realizing is that when I speak about stocks, they're essentially over $50. A lot of people are not viewing those videos because they believe they can't afford it. Yes, you can. And a lot of these stocks that are over $50 per share, these are the stocks that are on their way to $1,000 per share. So right now I'm looking at Microsoft. It's at $287.70, about to be $287.80, $288. But the point of the mac is you would have wished you would have invested in Microsoft before it reached 1,000, correct? So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. It's important. So in the past 5 years, Microsoft has been up 400%. The past year, 38%. The past 3 months, 5.5%. Last month, down 5%. Past week, down 3%. And today is up a little bit over 2% when doing the math, moving right along. And I'm just going to read a little bit because I know majority of people understand and know what Microsoft is. It said that Microsoft engages in development and support of software services, devices, and solutions. It operates through the following business segments: productivity and business processes, intelligent cloud, and more personal computing. The productivity and business process segment compromises products and services and portfolio productivity, communications, and information service. We understand that Microsoft is a hardware, software, IT company, and they do cloud computing just like any other IT company. Now, the one thing that I want you guys to make aware of is that Microsoft is a very, very old company, probably older than you were born. It was founded back in 1975 in Redmond, Washington, and has roughly 181,000 employees, okay? And that's global. That's very, very global. I'm going to go down here because the dividends of Microsoft is at 0.77% currently, okay? 0.77% currently. And we see that the 52-week high has been 300 around $6 per share. And today highs of 289, but currently we're sitting at 287 per share. It's part of Robinhood's 100 most popular stocks. And it says right here that Microsoft is increasing its dividends to 62 cents per share. And you know what time? So there's all these indicators in the market, right? And it's hard to decipher what a stock is actually doing. Like, are they giving me more dividends because they're not forecasting that they're going to do well in the future? Because more times than not, when stocks are increasing and giving you dividends, we're going to have growth. That's what the stock is saying. We're going to have growth, but don't expect a rocket ship growth. Like we're going to go from 200 to 300 in a year. They're not saying that. But ladies and gentlemen, Microsoft is very different, okay? Microsoft is the alternative to Apple. Rather, Apple is the alternative to Microsoft. Now, a lot of people are now, if you're into graphics and animations, they mostly use Apple. But majority of businesses are still using Microsoft. And Microsoft continues to innovate. Microsoft continues to invent new products and software systems. And what they're doing is they're taking like the share probability and ingenuity of a Google, right? When you working with Google behind the business, you can do a lot of things, share real time, and you can work on the same document at the same time. So Microsoft has seen that technology that Google has. So take, for instance, I shared a Google Sheet with you. This is like a Microsoft document, a Microsoft Word document. Or excuse me, a Google Sheet is essentially equivalent to an Excel sheet from Microsoft, no matter what the document is, okay, or Google Word. You and I can work on the same document at the same time. The document is not locked. The document is not put you on hold. You both can work simultaneously within the same document. Microsoft has now adopted that technology, and most likely they got it from Google. Okay, most likely they got it from Google. And they probably got a lot of other things and elements that they're getting from Apple. But don't forget, Microsoft has been around for a very long time, and they continue to innovate. And a lot of business will stay with Microsoft, okay? Let's go back here. So with that being said, it says Microsoft upcoming dividend will be larger than last. So the increase in dividend, I want you guys to take a look at this right here. Buy at 94.6%, hold at 5.4%. That is absolutely phenomenal. They're saying, hold what you got, buy more, buy more, buy more, buy more. But I know a lot of you beginning investors, you're looking at the stock price and you like, oh, hell no. Nah. But I'm here to tell you, Robinhood, WeBull, M1 Finance, you heard me. I'm like a beating a drum. I'm like a tape that you keep putting on loop and rewind. You can buy fractions. And here's a great thing I want to point out to you guys, okay? As I'm scrolling down here, we see some other people in competition. That's not even worth it. What's worth it is this. You can go, like myself, and invest in Microsoft through ETFs. And a lot of you have always asked me, Ross, what ETFs do these stocks actually hold in? Where are these stocks located and what side of ETFs? What are the tickers? What are the symbols? What are the stocks? Well, here you go. Here you go. You have questions. I got the answers. Now, here are some ETF funds that Microsoft is within these. Now, the reason why I'm coming down to the third one here, and we understand that the expense ratio, this column here, is the operating cost for them, for this particular company to invest in all these different stocks for you. And as you can tell, the category for these ETFs is what? Technology equities, okay? So I'm going to go right to Fidelity MSCI, information technology, because I'm going to show you here that this is not what you may think it is. As we're scrolling here, I'm showing you, they said opening at $119 per share. And again, with these ETFs, you can also invest in fractions. Let me show you why. When I go here, I'm going to holdings. You see Apple, they have Apple within this ETF at 19.74%. Second one is Microsoft, 16.77%. Don't forget, last week I talked about NVIDIA. Then you have Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Adobe, Salesforce, Cisco System, Intel, Accenture, which is a Accenture is, don't get me wrong, is a family. I'm so sorry. I know what Accenture is. Consulting agency. Accenture is a consulting agency. I should know because I applied to them. Anyway, Broadcom, Texas Instruments, Oracle. Remember we talked about Oracle, Intuit. These are very important. And this is a ETF that you can invest in. You know why? This is the ETF that I invest in. Okay. This is the ETF that I invest in. I don't have that much money in here, family. I'm not going to lie to you. Look how much I have in here. $25. $25. I'm only up 1% at 26 cents. But I will continue to invest because you know why? I have this on recurring investment, recurring monthly allotment for 25 cents. But I'm just now investing in all of these great companies that's been a while for quite some time, with the exception of PayPal and Salesforce and a couple of others. But when we're talking about NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Visa, MasterCard, okay, Cisco System, Texas Instruments. You guys know that. Y'all, you remember that when you was in school and you guys always had those T1 calculators? That's Texas Instruments, ladies and gentlemen. That is Texas Instruments. So again, I'm investing in all of those shares in my stock portfolio with Fidelity, MSCI Information Technology. Now, this is just one out of the many that you can absolutely invest in. Okay, so let me go back here. We're just going to go back. We're going to show you some other tickers. I'm only showing you the one that I essentially have, but I will give you the other tickers that you guys can go and research yourself. So if you don't have pen and paper, please get pen and paper because you may want to get into a lower stock price. Now, I'm familiar with XLK, Technology Select Sector Spider Fund, okay, SPDR Spider Fund. So let's go through it. XLK. VGT, and that's Vanguard Information Technology. That's a good one. IXN, iShares Global Tech ETF. IYW, iShares US Technologies ETF. IETC, iShares Evolve US Technology ETF. IWI, iShares Russell's Top 200. You got AVDG, IVSG, MGK. That's not the rap group, guys. IOO. We also have Charles Schwab, US Large Capital. You got Vogue with Vanguard. You got SPYG with Spider. You got XLG, and that's the Invesco S&P 500. That's a really good one there. You also have PLT, Wisdom Tree Growth Leaders Fund. And again, it's important that you guys go and research this. And this for reference and give you guys more context, I'm going to do you a solid here. I'm not going to put this website in the chat right there for you guys, okay? I'm going to put that in the chat for you guys because I believe there's imperative that you guys go and do your research. I don't want you guys to have any excuses. I was so busy. I couldn't write down what you were saying, Ross. I didn't have time to rewind the video and pause it and write down. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat. No excuses. You should be investing in Microsoft. No ifs and buts about it. It's going to be doing very, very well. I'm here to prove it. So here we go. In the past 3 months, it's been up 4%. Year to date, 30%. Okay. Look at the EPS on this. This is absolutely bonkers for me, okay? I mean, I'm off my rocker when it comes to this, right? Because we're talking about the profitability of a company. They're a plus positive of $8.06, which is absolutely phenomenal when you're talking about earnings per share. And it has a buy rating on Market Watch, okay? The dividends have been raised to 62%. And some of you who are not familiar with dividends, you don't understand dividends, but you know that you want dividends. You're like 62 cents. Ladies and gentlemen, 62 cents for somebody to give you for a stock is absolutely phenomenal. It's actually great. So the more you invest, the more dividends you get. The more you invest, the more dividends you get. Always keep that in mind. You should be investing in Microsoft. And again, I'm here to tell you why. Now, as we look at the performance projection right here on Yahoo Finance, we see that in the short and mid-term that it will be down, but the long term is going to move sideways. Let me just show you a quite contradiction on the Yahoo Finance right here. They're telling you that it's overvalued right here, as you see. But as you come down here and you look at their ratings, ladies and gentlemen, what is it telling you here? Buy, strong buy. And we look at September and October, 18 buy, 17 strong buy with a measly hold. They don't even have a number to depict what they mean by hold, and they really have underperformed or sell. Then in October is a small sell ratio here, but 6% hold. But we're looking at 13% buy and 14% strong buy. So there you have, ladies and gentlemen, even the math. When you look at the analytics of it all, you compare them and contrast through the different websites and platforms, and you should already know that you should be investing in Microsoft. Whether it's the individual stocks, whole shares, or fractional shares. You can also use Stash. Stash also do fractional shares, or you can buy an ETF that has Microsoft in it. So you're always investing in these particular stocks. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you this all the time. I double up, triple up on some of my investments, meaning that I have so many ETFs that I'm investing in the entire stock market. I'm investing to the 4,200 stocks in the total stock market ETFs. I'm also investing in the total S&P 500. There's many ETFs out there that you can invest in, or you can invest in them individually. Okay. And here's the thing. You want to cover as many stocks as possible. And a lot of these stocks with our in ETFs and index funds shows you the stability because they're passively managed, won't incur taxes. See, a lot of us are very new in investing in taxes. So when you get that 1099 DIV, that 1099 MISC, these are the particular tax forms that you get to file the profits and taxes that you get when you're investing, right? So when you're on TurboTax, when you're on H&R Block, when you're on what's it called, Jackson and Hewitt, whatever the investment and tax platform that you use for your tax return, and you add all of these documents in, what occurs? You end up owing taxes, right? That's because a lot of you have individual stocks that are actively managed. And then a lot of you, ETFs, you have actively managed ETFs, and there's no such thing as an actively managed ETF. They call them mutual funds. They call them mutual funds. There are some low vibrational operating ETF that are actively managed, and you need to steer clear away from them. Make sure that the ETFs that you're going over are passively managed, will give you the best tax deductions that you can ever imagine. And what I mean is, you're not going to pay a lot for taxes. Now, this is why I always encourage you guys to be long-term investors, because short-term investors, day traders, swing traders will incur more taxes than a passive investors. And some people will make the argument that those actively people who go in and rearrange their stock portfolios and swing trade and day trade will make out a better profit in the long term and still can pay off those taxes and still walk away for a profit. My only question to you, family, is do you have that amount of time to do that? Most of us do not, because some of you have, you're taking care of your kids. You have full-time jobs. You have 2 jobs. So essentially, I tell you people, investing in your 401k is fine, but you still should be investing more, because we know you, we know me, we're only investing in the 401k of our organizations and businesses to the percent that they're matching. Oh, you're giving me 5%? Well, I'm investing 5%. So you should be doing your own little stock portfolio at any time. Because listen, a lot of these companies are insured. If they ever go out of business, they will pay out their 401ks. But there's no assurances, especially if they file particular, bankruptcy, Chapter 13, Chapter 11, Chapter 7, all of these bankruptcies. So you might just want to be aware. You might want to have your own little nest egg that you're absolutely building, okay? Now, on Zacks is saying that it's a buy. And we're going to come down here to the Scowl scores, and it says D for value, C for growth, B for momentum. The overall VGM score is a C, okay? Now, for some of you who may understand and may not project where Microsoft is going, again, let me go back. Microsoft is already at $288, like I told you, right? Because we started off when it was at $287. And let me tell you where Microsoft is going, that you guys can invest in fractions or through an ETF. Let me show you where Microsoft is going. Boom. Microsoft is currently at $288, and Microsoft within the year, they're predicting that it's going to go up to $336. $336 right here. It says, based on 21 Wall Street analysts offering 12-month price targets for Microsoft in the last 3 months, the average price target is $336 with a high forecast. Listen, where is it at? With a high forecast of $411. I'm just pausing for effect. $411. That's the high forecast, but they're saying at a medium, the average price target for Microsoft is $336. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't really think there's nothing else to be said. And just for giggles, just for just a little fun banter when it comes to investing, I just want to show you guys something here. These are just price predictions. See, my thing is, family, I look towards the future when it comes to investing, because when I see people, I'm seeing, we had a older Jewish couple move right next to us, right? And they were Jewish lawyers, right? And I'm saying, me and my wife was talking to them, and we were like, well, you guys are retired. They're like, yeah, we're retired. We still do some work every now and again, because both of them are lawyers, right? And I always say, well, how are you guys funding? Because some people believe that because of your profession, you will just have a lot of money. No. These people, not just them, these people invest. What if you are a lawyer that is not associated and connected to a firm? I mean, you may have many clients throughout the years, but what are you doing with your money to sustain your life? Ladies and gentlemen, they invested. I'm going to go off on a limb here and say their house is paid for. A lot of these people that I see, it don't matter what race, color, ethnic, creed, religious background, doesn't matter. But people in this neighborhood, who are especially over the age of 60, their houses are paid for and they're living off their investments. They're living off their 401ks, they're living off their pensions, and they're mostly living off their individual investments. Remember, I told you that you need to start accumulating stocks. And the reason why I show you my particular account is to show you those recurring investments. Those recurring investments. I'm going to show you one more time. But first and foremost, I want to show you where Microsoft is going to go. Right here. According to the latest long-term forecast, Microsoft prices will hit 300 by the middle of 2022 and then 400 by the middle of 2024. Microsoft will rise to $500 within the year of 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, we're only talking about like 4 years. 4 years is going up to $500, and you should be investing right now, right? Within the year of 2025, 600 in 2026, 700, 2027, 800, 2029, 900, and 2032. And then 2033, they're talking about mere year, 958, year end, 984, at a total end of 240% Microsoft. Microsoft. I'm using Microsoft right now. I don't have any Apple computers. And I'm not saying Apple or Microsoft is better than each other. It's your preference, right? But a lot of businesses still use Microsoft. Now, with that being said, once again, I'm going to go over to my portfolio to show you that doing this on Robinhood, and this is the platform I like to teach from, but I'll show you. You go over to your account. You go over to recurring, and then they'll have your information here. As it shows you here, it has Apple recurring investment. This stock, FTEC, is the ticker, Fidelity MSCI Information Technology, the one that Microsoft and Cisco System, NVIDIA, and Apple are currently in. So I'm doubling up on Apple because I like to invest in ETFs. Then I had the 3D printing ETF because we now understand that 3D printing is the future. 3D printing is the future. 3D printing is the future. Why am I telling you this? So you can go out and invest. This particular ETF for 3D printing is investing damn near in all the 3D printing public stocks. Because think about it like this. You have an idea. You have an invention, right? You have some fruition. So you go out and you buy you a small 3D printer, and you can actually make tangible products with your 3D printer, right? You make a prototype, and either you find an angel investor or you have enough money to start production yourself, right? You find an investor, find a bank, but you have the actual product to show them because of 3D printing. This is the future. They're already doing 3D printing with color. That's the reason why I invest in that one. Power Shares, Triple Q, Tesla, recurring investment, Vanguard Healthcare ETF. You know why, because we all need healthcare. Vanguard Telecommunication Services ETF. You know why? That's where all the 5G stocks are at. And then, of course, Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF, because your man loves to invest in the entire stock market. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got for today, family. Thank you for joining me, and hopefully I've given you some motivation and information for you to go invest some of that money that I know you're blowing away. How much money you spend this weekend? Where you spending money at? Amazon? Was it Amazon? Was it Etsy? You went on Pinterest, didn't you? Huh? You saw something while you were strolling on Instagram. You clicked it and you bought it, right? You saw an advertisement on Facebook and you got it. No. You was watching one of your favorite people like myself on YouTube and you click one of the advertisements. I just want you to take a little bit of that money and invest it for your future and yourself. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. You guys have a great and wonderful Monday. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out.